Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, do some TA. Alright, guys. We had a pretty ugly bar print yesterday, and as of today, you are gapping up and pushing into the high of that candlestick. Now, this makes our job on reading this price action pretty easy, guys. Get above 496.49, yesterday's high. This will look a whole lot better. From that point, anybody who was a seller on that day or down here is 100% underwater. And from that point, we're probably going to be pushing back up to that 498.83 high. All right, so on the upside, that's really all we have to concern ourselves with. Take out 496.49, look for a move up to the, following levels: 498.83, 501.01, and then 503.52. Now, in the weekly time frame, all right, we're not necessarily getting, much of either side here. We have a neutral candlestick to close off the week. I'm not going to call it bullish. I'm not going to call it bearish. I'm going to say right now we're just chilling where we are. All right, so it really is going to come down to the smaller time frames here. Now, I'm going to point out how some things look in this video going into next week, and just understand that everything that I come to a conclusion off of that information with, that is just my opinion. Okay. But right here, guys, really easy. On the upside, we are literally just paying attention to 496.49. On the downside of support, we are going to have 493.25, 491.54, and then 488.41. We did have that 15-minute bullish divergence as price came right back down for a break and retest, and that did end up giving us our short-term bottom. All right, now we have rallied. Now it is time to put those cautious glasses on. I'm just going to say right now, guys, I am still bullish on this market, but I am proceeding with caution. I think it is a great idea to, not be super leveraged, especially on big tech when we are sitting here, with a pretty uncertain look to us. Let's be completely real, all right? We could go either way from here. This could either be a dead cat bounce that gets faded, and then we come back down here. And then when we come back down here, you're probably not going to find buyers here again. All right, we already got our bounce, and that would have been a dead cat bounce off of the daily 9 here. If we come back down to it, we're not expecting buyers to just step in like we were over here, all right? And then, the other side of the coin is take out 496.49. Anybody who took a short position is underwater. We're probably going to be pushing back up the high, and from that point, I do have to assume, right, this uncertain time is just, giving us the boost we need to get up to here, 503.52. All right, so pretty simple stuff over here on QQQ. Now, before we go any further here, I will point out, all right, VIX, very ugly look to close out the week here. You got a big, fat, red, ugly bar here. Daily time frame does suggest we're probably going to be continuing lower. You are, have a straight... It's actually the same candlestick we got on SPY and QQ yesterday, where you just have no wick on the top, no wick on the bottom. I do have to assume this is going to lead to more selling over here on the VIX, but I will point out 15-minute RSI is heavily oversold here. No 15-minute bullish divergence, but it is oversold, and typically we do at least get these dead cat bounces before going lower. I am not saying that, VIX is going to have this massive spike over here. With how this daily chart is looking here, how this daily candle is forming up here, yeah, I do have to assume, any bounce is just going to be a dead cat bounce over here in VIX. So I am biased to the upside. All right, from this point in time, I am looking for further upside action. Any bounce over here on Mr. VIX is going to provide that pullback opportunity over on the indices. So that is, just how I think things are shaping up into next week. I think we go higher next week, just going off of this. And that's why I was saying before, guys, all of this is just my opinion. I'm not sitting here emotionally attached to either side here. I am strictly looking at what these charts are suggesting. And typically we get, for the downside after a candlestick like this. And then you also, compare that with the fact that, yeah, we can reach oversold territory, just like not oversold, but, heavily oversold where we are right now, under the 15 mark on the 15-minute RSI. And, when we've reached here in the past, we've gotten these dead cat bounces, but it was just that, a dead cat bounce. All right. You had, you traded flat, which meant the market just consolidated and then it pushed up. All right, now when was this? We're going to just mark that. All right, that was August 13th. When we come over here to SPY, I actually looked at this the other day. I know exactly where this is. All right. But you know, this is a time right here when the market just kind of kept gapping up. So that was the last time we had VIX looking like this. I'm not saying that is about to happen, but I'm definitely going to, you know, kick off the TA here on SPY's chart by saying, hey, this daily time frame does not look bad at all. All right, this thing does not suggest we are bearish. If we pull back into this daily 9, we're looking for buyers there. We talked about in yesterday's video. You got that uptrend there. You know, things really aren't looking all that bad over here. And, you know, that was literally over here on the 13th when, you know, VIX hit that same exact condition we are getting right now, where you were just at 1350 on the 15-minute RSI. What was followed? All right, 4 days of gap ups, $17 higher. You know how insane that would drive most people in the market, including myself. All right, do you know how insane that would drive us? All right, doesn't matter if it's even on your side or not. You don't really have much to go off of when these things happen. That's what drives me crazy. All right. I want to sit there taking profits and, you know, adding when, you know, it's ideal. Guess what? That situation does not give you, you know, time to do that. You know, if I see this big gap up here, I'm taking most of my profits right here. And then I'm going to be pissed when I see it go higher the next few days. That's why I say, like, it's literally a situation that would drive everybody bonkers up the wall. Doesn't matter if you're bullish or not. All right. Does not matter if you're making money on that move, because you're probably going to do what I just described. Take them profits, then you're going to see it just keep going in your favor over the coming days. You can be like, damn, took them too early. All right. So, you know, and then if you're on the bearish side and you're not benefiting from that, you're still being driven crazy because you're like, this got to stop at some point. This got to stop. What is this? All right. Everything I'm looking at right now is not working. These, you know, indicators are not working. That's the situation that would put us in. All right. So I just want to really, you know, show everybody going into next week that is on the table. That is a possibility. Daily RSI has not even hit 70 over here on the RSI. I do think there is a chance we continue higher from here and get that scenario I just described that will drive people up the walls. All right. Now, as far as, you know, support and resistance goes over here in SPY, guys, you know, I think we're going to be coming up to this high. That's how it's looking over here on that daily chart. It's not a terrible look like we got over there on, you know, QQQ. QQQ, like, they both have the same bar yesterday, but I will say, you know, this 3 back-to-back red bars over here, it looks pretty ugly to me. You come over here to SPY and, you know, we kind of knew this 4-hour chart did not look all that bad. This is just another one of those pullbacks, and it really doesn't look bad. All right, weekly time frame, how we looking, guys? Another green week. We're probably going to get increasing volume. It is only 1:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we still have that end of the day volume spike probably going to come in. Probably get equivalent volume right around there or increasing volume on the week. Nothing to write home about. All right, we'll point out the past 3 weeks, you do have that decreasing volume. That is not the best thing when we get that. Weekly RSI is overbought, but again, that daily RSI is not in overbought territory, which, you know, typically I want to see. And I am just going to say, I'll actually remind you guys what I talked about not too long ago. Typically, all right, once we finally get up here, SPY has been known to hit it a few times. All right, here you just kind of never pulled back. All right, you had these little guys, and you could have bought in every single little dip you possibly could see, and you were printing. Okay, normally it's not like that. Normally you hit it, you pull back, you hit it again. Okay. And then over here, this is where you just kept making these lower highs. You were in your bear market. So we weren't in that mode. But, you know, I literally brought this up the other day that as long as you are in that larger uptrend here, you typically will come, you know, hit it, pull back, hit it again, like hit it 2 or 3 times before really seeing a major correction. And I think that is, it's a possibility here. I'm not going to really call for any perma bullish type of things here. But, you know, we still have that hiccups always. We still have that you know, 600 psych level sitting above, have not hit it. Everybody knows about it. All right, we all know about it, which means there's probably liquidity sitting up there. All right, like straight up, we all know about it. What happens when everyone's watching one level? All right, well, typically it does not it does not do what people think, which, makes me think everyone's looking at this thing as bearish. You saw yesterday's bar. My guess is we're probably not going to see anything bearish play out right now, all right? Just like 600. What if we go up and just, slightly undercut 600 and then sell? That would probably drive people nuts. These are the type of things that the market likes doing. It doesn't like giving people exactly what they want. Just stuff to keep in mind. But as far as, your support and resistance goes, guys, you are pushing right up here to that 0.786 fib. The 0.786 fib from this whole decline here was 585.30, we'll call it. You had a high of 585.25. All right. It is clearly a spot that's being respected. You were also just kind of selling here at this 585 resistance. But if you can get your head above 585.30, then we're probably going to have a straight shot up to 586.12. All right. On the downside is support. I know we don't have anything right now besides 585 and 582 down here. All right. If I was to pick something out here, I'm actually just going to point out you have this uptrend that you could pay attention to. Break that uptrend. You're going to be breaking underneath this 15-minute 9 EMA. You found buyers. Let's look at it this way. The whole time you found buyers on here. Whole flipping time. Okay. What happens when you get underneath it? Well, now you find sellers there. All right. And then you got back above it. Now you found buyers there. You found buyers there. You found buyers there. Expect buyers right here. It's also a break and retest off the top right over here. All right. So if you are an intraday trader, this is how you should be looking at things. All right. And well, I don't want to tell anybody what to do. All right. I should not use the word should. I guess I just used it twice trying to say I shouldn't use it. There it pops up again. Regardless, guys, all right, this is how I see things. You come back here, expect buyers here, but if you can take out that uptrend, get a close underneath that 15-minute 9 EMA, you probably do set yourself up for, you're not going to continue this bounce right away. You are going to either consolidate or pull back just like you did over here. You pulled back and then consolidated, and then you started, getting back up on your way. Pick yourself back up. Okay, so pretty simple stuff over here, guys. Breakdown under here. We could probably, expect something like this. All right, it would probably go something like that. So that is what I will pay attention to. All right, but right here, first area of support is going to be 584.47 on the downside, then 583.69. Underneath there, all right, like, of course, if you're not new to the channel, we have the golden pockets in down here. But, underneath here, you're coming down and visiting this spot right here. You're definitely going to have orders there. And here's where you get to see, do we hold here right now? If you don't hold 582.80, we'll call it, you're going to come down here to 582.16, and then you're probably going to start actually breaking down here. This was all just going to be treated as a dead cat bounce if you can make your way all the way over here. And if you break under here, it tells you you're probably breaking under here, all right? But yeah, in the short term, guys, things look great. So no reason to get overly bearish, but I also am going to point to something that might tell you to not be overly bullish right here. All right. That's why I said at the beginning of the video, I am bullish. I'm proceeding with caution here. I don't want to tell anybody to take their own profits, but I'm just going to say, all right, I think it's a great idea to, take your profits. At least, hey, be smart about things. Like, we clear as day have a setup right here on NQ to sell. I've had a bearish bias all day. You have not been giving me that move I was looking for all day, but I am just going to say, guys, I think it's probably coming, which is why I say proceed with caution right here. You literally did come down to your golden pocket. You broke and retest off of our 2326 level right there. That was your exact bottom. You did end up finding buyers there. You ripped faces. And now I do want to point out, you have gone straight up. You broke down under that uptrend I was paying attention to, right? And now you're in a whole slap fest up here. But, the important thing is that 15-minute bearish divergence still is here. And if you get up to new high, maybe you tap this 0.786 fib, you're probably still going to see that hold. Guys, it doesn't have to create a massive sell-off, but we're probably going to see price at least consolidate to reset this thing. I want to see this thing come down here, or I want to see you come up here and bust it open, okay? I want to see you break that thing. If you can do it, it's actually 76.04, I believe, on the RSI right here. It's the high right here. Yeah, 76.04. Been watching it since the open. If you can, burn through that divergence, we typically do see another 100 to 250 points come out of that to the upside. But so far you haven't done that. Until that happens, guys, I'm just going to say we probably are going to be selling from here and coming back down here. Now, you want a little cheat code. All right. you got this thing over here. Where's your first target? VWAP. That was literally my target off the open right there. All right. I gave some of these gains back somewhere over here. All right. We caught another one right there. And, I'm not even going to try and touch this thing right here. This guy has not been giving me what I want today. And I think it kind of just wants to waste most people's time here and trade flat. It literally has traded flat. I'm not going to say we have the smallest range here. But, not even 100 points of range is kind of, hard to believe here. We don't typically see that happen. So, just that's kind of the nature of today's move. We're not moving. All right. That is that. But this is the reason I would be, cautious on the long side right now. We have that same exact look over here on ES. And if you do if you do just see where we are on ES, it's the same exact spot, guys. We are in the golden pocket. I am not going to get bullish until I can see that 0.786 fib on both of these guys get taken out. All right. That is going to be a break above 2540. We're going to call it. All right. If you can get above there, I'll have my alert for right there. That's when we're going to be looking for continued upside. If you guys do want to trade futures with me throughout the day, I'm definitely very active in the morning. But most days I will definitely just, keep watching charts and step in and out when I see fit. If I see trade setups, I will be very clear on my bias going into the day. And I typically have a game plan for us written out in the morning brief. Most of the time we get it's not going to always be picture perfect, but in today's instance, I was just looking for a move down to VWAP right off the open. All right. So if you do want to come trade futures with me, I will be doing so over in the Discord. And then I'm just going to say we've been on an absolute options heater over there. Shout out to Oklo. I beat myself up, guys. All right. I literally beat myself up. But, I got to take a step back and realize, that is all, part of the territory here. I just felt stupid about this day. I was like, this is so obvious. This would have been, something you could throw 5K on and just, make a lot of freaking, it was just so crystal clear around this spot that this was going to be the outcome. But, at the end of the day, it wasn't so crystal clear, right? We can know the setup is there. But in reality, we don't know what's going to happen until it actually happens, right? We had a setup to explode over here. The nuclear sector is going nuts. This thing definitely went nuclear. I put it on your radar, off of this first initial move over here. All right, I think we're consolidating here. I put it on your radar, break and retest action. Got that little one. This was just round 2 right there. All right, I'm out. I think this thing is going a lot higher. There's that. Oh, but what I was saying, if you also want to come participate in that options heater, you can also come trade with me over there. Link is down below. And I'll also say, guys, Twitter link is also down below if you want to, see me post some charts and, interact with me over there. Link is down below. All right. But moving on, I think we're over here on SPY. And, on the downside, guys, what do we got? All right. You break that uptrend, break there, watch a 583.69. Then you have 582.80 to pay attention to, then 582.16, then 580.20 down there. I don't think we're going to be going down there just yet, just because of what I just mentioned. All right. But there is that. That is SPY. What do you got going on IWM, guys? You are just consolidating. If you were to pull back into this daily 9, I think it gets bought up, and I think that is going to be your buying opportunity for that next leg up. I do think we are running to 230.72. I think we're probably going to, enter this zone I got laid out for us over here. I think it's just kind of a patience game on when that happens. I think we already got the signal that we are going to be moving up there. Right now, we're just consolidating right about at the high, the previous high from over here. It makes perfect sense what is going on right now. Just know we are probably going to continue this consolidation. Okay? Best case scenario for the bulls, you pull back into that daily 9. Even if you pull back 222.60, that is, best case scenario right there for your entry. Long entry, break and retest off of that key level, key pivot level right there, as well as your daily 9. We are probably going to see that respected if tested. So that's what I'm watching over there in IWM. All right, so underneath 224.94, you watch 222.60. Resistance is 226.64 and 228.63. DIA, guys, I will point out, you have, not a bad look at all to this chart. Weekly chart over here, closing out near the highs. If you print out a hammer candlestick, if you close out with a hammer candlestick today, I do think that is not the worst look at all. And I do think we're probably just setting up to either continue consolidating right here, or we're going to, launch off of that. Not a bad look over here on DIA. Like I pointed out earlier on VIX, guys, this daily close, I don't know if it's going to close like this, but I'm telling you right now, with how it is looking, it probably will. And we're probably going to see continuation lower next week. Again, look for these little dead cat bounces. They probably won't amount to too much. But like I did just point out, NQ, I'm just going to say, all right, I have been looking for a larger sell. I'm talking 100 to 200 point sell over here on NQ since the open. We didn't get it. All right. The closest we got, I had an order sitting at, it was 494. Stopped out of that. We had another one for 500. My stop was up at 510. Missed the stop by one freaking point. And then we got this little move down here. We really have not seen this thing get its larger correction here. And I think it's definitely possible. So, until we see what we got to see, which is a move up here, until we get a move up here over that 0.786, I'm just definitely going to say, I think there's reason to be cautious. And we could definitely see a swing all the way down here, 2,400, guys. We could see this thing get ugly. It could get pretty hairy. All right, so that's what I'm watching. Now, let's go over very quick over here. We're going to have the weekly update literally out tomorrow, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on these. Apple, how we looking going into next week, guys? It looks like you're going to continue up to 237.23, okay? Microsoft, how we looking over here? Not the best look. You're kind of just dancing around this daily 9 right here, and I'm not going to say it's bullish or bearish right now. You're kind of opening yourself up to just stay in this range. Not the best look. All right, not the worst look, not the best look. It's just kind of doing whatever it wants right now. And on the weekly chart, you're still underneath that weekly 9, which over here, as you saw, consolidated. Well, you followed that with a week down. All right, so I'm not gonna be getting too bullish on that guy right now. Gook, it will have its push when it wants to have its push. We don't know when it's gonna go, but you do have that inverse head and shoulders look to you. Push over 170.41, 175.91 incoming in the short term. Support is 161.63, and then under there 156.51. Meta, guys, this is actually one that I bought a put on earlier. I don't typically like shorting these guys, especially not with short expirations. But I will definitely say it looks like Meta is starting to roll over here. We're finding 3 days of rejection here at the daily 9. It would not surprise me to have that little leg down over into 568.73, and then specifically 562.35. All right, so that's what I'm paying attention to. If you can break under 574, all right, when this alerts gets hit, we're probably going to break down. Notice how this day did not come down here. Well, if we have a day that does undercut yesterday's low, Thursday's low, and then we come under 574.03, we're probably going to start that next leg down and see a quick move down to 568.73. All right, so stop is just if we can get above 585, which I don't think is going to happen, but we will see. Man, I'm not going to call this thing bearish, all right? Like, I'm going to say this pullback is clearly a buying opportunity, which is why I don't like doing these things. But yeah, that's how it's looking over here. All right, rejecting right over here, that key spot 583.04. You just keep rejecting it, and you're underneath that daily 9. Amazon, guys, all right? I actually I was like, Amazon, you're not getting another chance to troll me next week, all right? I got 1/4 remaining on this guy, and I kind of sat through this little dip, and you're in the golden pocket right now. You look like you're going to be going higher, but I'm also going to say this thing has definitely been a troll and kind of has danced around. But at the end of the day, it followed, the rules that I, fall price with, which is like expect sellers in the golden pocket. Expect the opposing side. Doesn't matter which side. Expect the opposing side. Just like when we were coming down into here, we knew to be bullish over here. Why? Because we were expecting the opposing side. Well, we literally got up here and your boy was not expecting the opposing. I should have been. Sometimes it slips in my mind. All right. So we did end up finding buyers off the daily 9. It does look like you're kind of just consolidating before, having that next move up. But just in case we get some more consolidation, we come down here, right? Not the worst thing to take off your profits right there. All right. And maybe you have a runner. And there you go. Get above 192.15. 195.37 is going to be incoming. Or is 187.60. That's where you kind of just been dancing around. I'm going to take that level off right there. All right, Tesla. This is one that, I'm going to reiterate what I said yesterday. I'm really not liking how long it's taken. Okay, I figured we'd at least get a snap back, but now you're just kind of flagging out over here. Now, what I did revisit, I was trying to offload this guy, and I look back at this 4-hour chart right here, and I look back, when have we had this happen before, right? Where you have that big drop, and then you just straight up consolidate over here, and then you finally, started releasing the energy up. Where's another one? Over here, you had an absolute crap ton of it, and then you finally started going up. I'm just going to say this could take some time. I don't think it's really worth playing it in the short term unless you're just, buying shares or buying, far out calls, like really far out calls. I don't think it's even worth it right now. That's the conclusion I came to today. This thing does like to consolidate here. It looks like bear flag and then it goes up. But at the same time, I'm going to be objective about what is on this chart right now. You have a bear flag, and if you come up and sweep this high, you probably get rejected first test of the daily 9 here. You don't really have a reason to be bullish on this in the short term other than for that little dead cat bounce kind of move that sweeps this high and tests this. Like, you really don't. And then we're probably coming back down into the golden pocket there. I don't like this chart. All right. You got earnings right around the corner. I don't know what happens with those. But the fact that your event sold you off tells me that, maybe this next event does what I talked about in yesterday's video, where you have 3 impulsive waves. You have a 1, you have a 2. What we're about to get a 3rd. All right. Just food for thought there on Miss Tessie. Okay. SMH not looking good right there. You cannot hold on to that zone. All right. You hit it with a break and retest there. Right at the daily 9. If you lose that, we're going to be paying attention to 245.58. NVDA. Now, this is one that I think is probably going to continue higher next week. I'm not going to say it's the best picture over here on the daily time frame, but you are just, having that consolidation. And I do imagine you're probably going to break above 140.76 next week, or at least get another test of it. That's what I'm seeing over here. But, you're not underneath the daily 9. You got no reason to be bearish. This was literally a break and retest off 130. I originally had this 130.75 level right here. But 130 is clear that psych level. Did us better over here. I'm just going to say this kind of looks like this was just the pullback opportunity right there. It's going to continue higher. So that's the video for you. AMD, I said what I said about it yesterday. Don't get mad when I call stocks like garbage. Don't. All right. That just means you're emotionally involved, and you're going to be like, oh, dude. I don't care, guys. All right. I don't care. If you want to argue because I called your stock garbage, like, there's nothing I have to argue about. All right. It is what it is. I watch all of these stocks. All right. I probably watch more than the average individual. So if you want to argue with me about the charts, do it. All right, do it. Even though I don't focus on them all the time, I still probably watch every single one of these more than the average individual. I see what happens on these charts. And right now, guys, AMD is in trick mode. All right, it's in clown show mode where it just wants to take everyone's money. Okay, so get bullish on it when it gets back above the daily 9. That's when it has always showed us that it is ready to rip. You consolidate right here. I think we're literally in this clown mode right now. I don't think it's worth touching it. All right, you had a false breakout over here on the weekly time frame out of this bull flag. I don't think it's worth touching it. Maybe I'm wrong and this is going to be the exact bottom before you shoot right back up. I don't know. Don't care. But this daily time frame not look good. All right, break under 154.92. We're coming down to 148.01. Avgo, consolidating. After its big move, you're consolidating before that next big move. Nothing to be bearish about over here. Pull back into 172.42. Expect buyers there. You're going to have the weekly 9. We saw what happened on the last 2 weekly 9 tests right there, right there. Expect another bullish reaction right here if it comes. Daily time frame, you're just in this range between 185 and 172. You want to get out of it. I think it's literally just waiting. We have earnings really, far away over here. It's not going to be affecting premiums. On the pullback, I really like this guy. All right, so pull back over here. I personally really like them. ARM, how we looking, guys? You're just consolidating above the daily 9 and above that 152.22 spot from over here. Not the worst look to it. I think you could just be consolidating before that next move up. But, if you lose the daily 9 and you break under 147, that's when I said in yesterday's video, we have a uptrend break here, and we're probably going to come down here to 132.80. Until that happens, though, we don't really have a reason to be bearish on this chart. TSM, pullback equals bullish. Get a move back into 195, previous all-time high, 193.47, previous all-time high. We expect buyers there. All right, that'll be a daily 9 test, and you know, big break and retest right there. It is not giving you a reason to, you know, to suggest that it's going to be just selling from here. So I don't think we have a reason to be bearish on that, and that's just my opinion. I see no reason to be bearish on this chart. Oh, it went too high, guys. Things go too high. All right. My logic this morning, I was actually pissing myself off in that logic. I was like, oh, it's just gonna keep going up. All right. I was just I caught myself just trying to blindly short today. I was like, wait a minute. I haven't been in that mode in a while, and I don't want to ever get back into that mode of just you have nothing to go off of. There's no place for your stop. All right. That was me, you know, trying to blindly short 494 this morning. And then I ended up just, you know, taking the small loss. And then I just reshorted when I had a clear stop. And the stop would have been 510. All right. And it was nice. All right. But, you know, that's the same concept over here, guys. The market isn't giving us a reason to think it's just going to start selling from here. The market says pullbacks are buying opportunities still. That's that. And you guys, you're getting real close to, you know, 111. You're right over here. Or I meant to say you're getting real close to that move up. You're dancing around 111. I will just say, if you pull back over here to 104.59, that's not the worst spot. You probably will get a bounce before that at the daily 9, though. I think it's just going to consolidate around here and then start pushing up. That's, you know, what I think the likely scenario here is. You do have this uptrend that you could pay attention to. If you start breaking under it, that is a reason to start looking for lower prices. And from that point, maybe we test that low over there at 98.94. SMCI, guys, this is one that I'm still going to say is annoying. It continues to troll me. I actually set my alert today after seeing it just, you know, sell somewhere over here. Got under 48. I was like, all right, give me another pop there. Let me get the frack out. It is time. I don't want to sit here and be trolled. I don't think mental, you know, capacity should be wasted like that. I don't care if it's going to move eventually. I am telling you right now, you know, it is mentally draining just sitting there hoping that something is going to bust the move. But if it's continuously showing you that it doesn't want to bust that move, chances are it's probably going to break down. I don't want to be broke down on. I'm going to say right now, I don't know if this thing is going to have this big bounce that I've been speaking about. I have absolutely no idea. Maybe it is just driving me nuts before it goes, like sometimes happens. But I'm definitely going to point out here, this doesn't look the best. This daily chart doesn't look the best. I will point out you have a higher high. All right. Compared to here, higher high. Higher low, higher high. Okay. Why don't you want to go? Why do we have freaking sellers sitting here at 50 bucks that slam you down every single time? I am just saying proceed with caution on this name because it's a piece of garbage and it's actually pissing your boy off. All right. There's that. I don't want to get pissed off. All right. I do not want to get pissed off. You're talking about a fucking chart. But I will definitely say, it looks like, you know, one of these days we could very well just see a breakdown under here and, oh, minus $3 move. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, wow, I had so many opportunities to get out for round break even. And that's kind of, you know, the mentality I'm in right now with this ticker. I don't think there's a reason to, you know, expect massive upside right here. We keep getting the market moving up. This thing wants to do absolutely nothing. It looks like it's going to go against the market. It again does absolutely nothing. You know, it's a weak ticker. That's what I'm going to say. I know it's moving up right now, but the fact that the market has been doing this, all right, you've consistently been moving up here. SMCI has absolutely done nothing, okay, during that time. Nothing. I'm also going to say NVDA went for an absolute ripper during that time. Avgo went for a ripper during that time. All of these went for rippers during that time. What did this thing do? It freaking did this crap, this stair step up crap, and now it might take the elevator down. All right, so those are my thoughts on SMCI. It's a piece of garbage right now. Those are my thoughts. Bitcoin over here, guys, looks rather impressive. All right, rather impressive. I am personally playing this with Mara. I do think we are about to see our daily close above this downtrend. I think that will be significant. Pullbacks will be buying opportunities. I think we're going to get in this mode here where Bitcoin goes on an absolute ripperoonie here, and daily RSI stays overbought for quite some time. That could be about to happen. Coin. All right, you're above that 207.71 target that I gave you after this day right here. Okay, I said that was incoming. I'm just going to say you're going to have the golden pocket up here, but if Bitcoin really starts pushing towards highs, hey, this thing's going to also start pushing. Mara, this is one that I think is just getting started. Daily RSI has not reached overbought territory yet. I want to see it at least hit 70 before, taking those off. But I'm just saying, I think this is just getting started. You have a clear inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. 1884 is your neckline. Break above there, probably get the measure move, probably straight up here to the 0.618 fib around 22 beans. I think that move is on the table, and on the weekly chart, this looks phenomenal. And we are about to close the day like this. Like, not about, we have 2 hours left. About to close the week like this, as long as it doesn't fall flat on its face. TSLA, how we looking, guys? All right, another really sexy looking weekly chart over here. You definitely started advancing. We were pointing out over here. All right, and if you broke above 1047, you're probably going to have a quick move up to the next resistance at 1275. You have now seen that move take place. And, I'm just saying this weekly chart does suggest we're probably getting a move back up here. And maybe, just maybe, if we're lucky, we get a move up past these highs, which is all the way up at 25 bucks. That is still right here about 100% gain. Okay. MSTR. It looks like that daily 9 pullback was all she wrote. All right. I was talking about this yesterday. If it does end up pulling back with Bitcoin, this was going to be top watch over here. That was going to be the biggest opportunity because this thing wants to run so massively with Bitcoin. Well, guess what, guys? It is now looking like it's about to push the highs at 227.15 again. It didn't give us much of a pullback. It gave us 4 daily 9 tests, and that's why, you guys might get annoyed that I say the daily 9 so often. I don't want to freaking mention it that much, but I'm definitely going to say it's a very nice outline to price there, or, path, I guess, for price. It continuously pulls back to the 9 and then launches off of it. You have a 1, you have a 2, you have a 3, you have a 4. All right. And I think this is probably about to see new highs. All right, guys. So, as far as my trade ideas go for you, okay, I will have 10 to 20 fresh ones going into next week in tomorrow's video. But I will just point out the only things that I'm really watching right now are going to stick with being CELH. Oklo, I'm out of this guy. You've definitely in the move I was looking for. I think you are going much higher, though, with how this is having a weekly close. This thing looks insane. We probably are going to get continuation next week. Maybe we push 25, 30 bucks. Keep it on the radar if you want. But yeah, pullbacks, I'm all over them. Okay, I'll be all over them. I think this thing is just getting started here. And yeah, pullbacks are going to be buying opportunities. Okay, so that is what I have for you. Okay. How is this guy looking over here? Garbage. So that's what we were saying. All right. You typically do end up selling for that's 2 days following that big move, and then you get that dead cat bounce. Right. This would have been the second day, and this is your dead cat bounce. All right. That is what happened over here. You sold 2 more days, you got your dead cat bounce. Right. What happened on this one over here? You sold 2 more days, you got your dead cat bounce. So that is happening right now. All right. I'm not playing this, but I talked about in yesterday's video, so I thought I'd come back and talk about it some more before we close out the video. All right, guys. But honestly, crypto stocks, that seems like the sector that is really heating up right now. I know MSTR has moved already, but as you could see, CLSK and Mara have really not moved at all. Riot, okay, you're kind of, really picking up over here. You're probably going to be pushing into that golden pocket pretty soon if you're not already there. All right, so 1050 probably coming next week. All right, how hot looking over there? Oh, look at that. All right, how's Cypher looking? Okay. Is it not this? Is this not, what is it that? Yeah, it's this. Okay. What's Cypher doing? Cypher is also moving and grooving right there. All right, crypto. Honestly, guys, those crypto stocks, those are going to be within the sector that is heating up right now. All right, so I'm going to be, having those as top watch going into next week. With that being said, guys, I hope everybody has a lovely weekend. I know we just hit it with a 40 freaking minute video to close out the week, but I hope you guys enjoy. And with that being said, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.